Hello YouTube. We're going to use this bulb for a form. We're going to try to fill it full of epoxy to make a handle. And I'll show you the epoxy later. It's a different stuff than what I normally use. Look at that. See, that's where you put it in your 1157, whatever. You got your part brake and your taillight. I shouldn't do it to a new bulb. Anyway, look how much I had to grind off to get down to that. And this black stuff is not really plastic. I think it's glass. See it? It'll throw sparks even. So let's finish cleaning up and see if we get this dissected. We're trying to take it apart and get the center out without breaking it. We do have diamond bits, and we can use cold water, but I normally on stuff I've got my fingers right here, okay? So if this gets hot, I back off. So the same as the glass. I could try to, have water right there, but I don't think I'm going to get it hot. It looks like a pretty quality bulb, so I want to use it. It don't look like a cheapy thin as an eggshell one. Because when I'm done, I'll be breaking this glass off, see? And I'll have an epoxy handle shape, and we're going to try to save this ferrule part right here. If we can't, we can't. The silver part, so let's get to work and see what happens. Okay, let's make these quick. See where I cut into there and it's starting to wiggle? We still might be able to save that piece. Wouldn't it be neat to be able to read that writing? I cannot read it with my eyesight. It's a pretty quality bulb. It looks like it to me how it's built. It don't look like it's not an old brass one. It don't look real super cheapy. Back to work. Okay. Hope my exhaust fan hasn't been too noisy. I forget. I just start squeezing with my vice grips real carefully. See how that glass stuff just started crumbling and breaking? See it? Hunks of it. I'm assuming it's a form of glass. Okay, let's keep doing that so we can get this off there. This still might be savable. No, now I got it all scrunched. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're not after that part. Okay, my advice would be just grab some of these out of the junkyard or wherever and just start squishing it until it all breaks. I knew it'd have this stuff in there because I've had these fall apart. There's like your glue. There. See, the object's going to be trying to grind this out of there. This plastic centerpiece. And I have diamond bits. I think I can do it. Real carefully. Because I'm not even afraid to take them at a slow speed. Because I'm going to use my little cordless one. The dinkiest tool I got. But what a mess. Look at this stuff in there. Oh, wear a mask too. Goggles, eye protection. Where you don't know what's in there. Wear a mask when you're. I've got my box right here running, and believe me, it'll pull dust right up to there. It's a pretty good fan. It's a 200 something whatever. I could look it up. There's a lot of cubic feet that fan moves in a minute. There you go. Let's get to work and see if we can get this apart. Get that glass without breaking it. Okay, I just took the pliers and broke that little nib. Get it back here. You seen it. I broke that with the pliers. We got to grind this all around. You'll see. We got to grind this to get this out of there. I'm going to try to take a close-up picture before I start grinding. You're going to be grinding this to get this whole centerpiece to pull out of there. I'll try to get a real good close-up. Okay, easier than I thought. See what I did here where it's thick? So I had to dip your tool in a little bit of water or spit on your finger and put some spit on there. I know it might sound gross, but if you make a slurry, it will grind faster. See where I did it where it's on a nice thick edge down in here? And I had to use that one, not the cordless one. Cordless one was worn out. But don't use a real high speed. And here's the bit I used. See how it's shaped? So you can see where it was cutting a line in there, how it's angled. I think you can understand that. I was actually using just the very edge of it to cut my way through there. Come back here. I think I got you confused, but you know what I mean. Use it like a cutter edge. There we go. Had a battery, I'd hook that up there so you can watch that smoke and catch on fire. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna put water inside here, right? And then shove this in here. And when we pull it out, the setting up, of course, we'll mark a line with our Sharpie because that's how much water this will displace. Because we don't want epoxy pouring all over, but we want the water level to be as close to overflowing as we can get. We don't care if it oozes out a little bit. Okay? We have to find a way to hold this thing when it's curing something like this. Setting up, we got to make a fixture. I think you know what I mean. You don't want to fill it full of epoxy and shove this in there. And it'll be nice and dry, but this will show you how much water this will displace. Okay? Say it twice. Make a mark with a Sharpie. So you'll be seeing a Sharpie marker on there. Or a piece of tape or both. So here we go. Let's get that part done. Okay. That's how much water it displaced from here to here. Right almost exactly to where that starts turning right there. Not quite here. Almost right there. This is a wooden dowel with a piece of electrical tape wrapped around it for a plug. We'll let that dry out a little bit. I don't think it hurt a little bit of moisture. Now there's going to be bubbles in this because this stuff I use, I mean, professionals use it. They've got hair dryers and heat guns and torches, and they pour it on bar tops and tabletops, and they're heating it to get the bubbles out. And guys will put it in vacuum pots they call it. So don't expect me to mix this stuff out without air bubbles. That's just the way it's gonna be. Sounds grumpy. You're gonna get whatever you get. Anyway. Oh boy. Kind of see where that's at. Can we roll that around? See? And we don't care if it overflows a little bit. Now we have to find a way to hold this thing straight up and down. Do not ask me how we're going to hold this because there is play in there. We have no idea what we're going to do there. It may be just sit there and keep trying to straighten it as the stuff hardens. And don't walk away from the project for a few minutes. Wish me luck. You're not going to see anything next till this thing is at least poured. Maybe even cured. So, here's our center. That way we can put whatever shaft, whatever we want, scratch all, whatever we want inside of this thing. See? So we don't have to drill a hole. You see what I mean now? Huh? We don't have to drill no hole. Hole? We don't need no stinking hole. Anyway. Oh, that Sharpie marker just to test, see if it's right on glass. It will look kind of cool though. It's all an experiment. This is not a... You may not even see this video if it fails bad enough. This is the cup I'll pour from. Heat it up with a lighter. Don't burn it. And take your those pliers and just make your spout. See that? Simple. Okay, it's the next day and this is what we got. We cut the straw. We sandpapered that. Had some epoxy on there. This will fit if I make it fit. I've been swedging it. They actually make punches where you can tap into a copper pipe to make it bigger to put the other, and I have a punch like that for copper pipe. It's the size used on furnaces and stuff. So I know for a fact it's what the furnace guy uses. But see if I've been heating that with a lighter. And I watched a video about brass work hardening and blah blah blah. But all you're doing is you're going at an angle this and you're wallering it. It's kind of hard. If I had on a tripod, I'd show you, but you're wallering this out because it almost fits on there, but I'm afraid of splitting it. So I've been taking my lighter. I can't find my turbo lighter. Don't you hate that when you have tools and you just can't? I have a turbo lighter. It gets hotter than you know what. No, ask me what. What gets hot? Anyway, If you don't know what swedging means or wallering or whatever, copper was easier than brass, but we almost have it. So we'll bring you back when it fits on here. Last night when it still had the straw stuck way out here and I put my flashlight on, the whole bulb would light up blue. I wish I could have showed you. That's the piece of wood in it. And see all the bubbles? And I wanted to show you now, this is not no cracks. This is where the epoxy separated. See it? Down in there. And up in here where there's an air bubble. See where there's air and no epoxy? When you look around in here. So this is our first. We're leaving the glass on. If it ever drops and breaks, I mean, it drops and breaks. But it's such a nice handle. But have you ever tried taking the glass off this and polishing that epoxy? It's still going to be sticky. Believe me, it is still sticky. I have some. In fact, the leftovers, I'll show you. I dropped a quarter in here. And it's still sticky to the touch. I don't like about this stuff, but see that orange peely look? I don't think you'd see that on a countertop. Good old state of Texas. I might be from Iowa, but still, I'll stand up for Texas. Oh, yes, I will. Well, we're all equal, but still, you know what I mean. Ain't that a cool state quarter, though? Somebody tell me what the star means. I kind of remember. What does the star mean for Texas? No, don't mean U.S. Marshal Matt Dillon. Anyway, somebody tell me what that means. There you go. Because I really don't remember. So let's get back to work. Let's get that to fit on there. Okay, we had to get extreme with this. This is what we use. This is our plumb bob. Remember the one we painted? Nice antique. Look at it now. Hey, but it worked. I needed a tool. What would the blacksmith do? Oh, if you ever found one of them cones that the blacksmith had, I seen one. I don't know if it's old or not. It's like 3 foot tall. It goes from 0 diameter to like 8 inches or so. A big cone that you pound rings down on to make them round. I seen it in a video once. This is so lumpy, the glass is, that it's so hard to get it to come up to where exactly I want it. Because if you see how it's shaped, it's got bumps to it. And I sanded some of the there was some epoxy overflowed. Yeah, like that. I measured with water, but it still overflowed when I put the epoxy to the line. Add that to vice grips. Don't worry, it'll grind away or whatever. We're going to cut that off. The ferrule might not be that long. No, I found my little turbo lighter, and that's all I needed. I mean, this ain't a big lighter, but you've got to get that brass warm. Do not pound on cold brass or cold copper. It will split, and you don't need extreme heat. I just warmed it up, and that's why I had the vice grips on it. I warmed it up so it was hot. It would burn your finger, and I figured that's all I needed. It is cool in there, though. So it'll be brass, and we don't know if we're going to wood or not. We have some wooden dowels. What do you think? Wood with some stain on it and tapered? That's how I hate drilling to the center wooden dowels. I've got my mini lathes, but it don't have a steady rest. So if you go hanging anything more than 2 inches out, you're not going to drill it in the center. That was a piece of wood swinging around at any speed. Not bad, huh? Ain't that a shame, though, that separated? Well, there was air in there. So if you look around, you can see where there was air, it had a big air bubble, so it's not completely sealed in here. See it? To the left. You cannot keep clean doing this stuff. My hands were clean this morning. Grinding on this grindy old stuff. Let's get back to work. This will be too long a video on this, but hey, if you want to see what I'm going through, you might want to make something similar. You can always find a plumb bob. Find a friend that shoots a lot of different types. I think I cut myself off. Go to a gun shop. See if they got any shell casings. Find somebody that's a hunter. Find somebody that deals with reloading ammo or whatever, and get an assortment. Have a friend like I have that sent me some. There you go. You know who I mean. You know who sent me all these. Cut these off with a hacksaw. Trust me, I'm ready to go. Arrgh! Your cutter blade will catch, and I'm trying to hold this, and it'll flip, and you do not want a big rotary tool like mine flying up at your face. Hacksaw it off there. Don't try to cut that off with a cutter disc. You gotta trust me on this one. Okay, we're getting ready to epoxy this together. See if I got the electrician's tape. That's to take up the slacks that fit snugly in there. So I'll put just a little bit of epoxy down on the end, some between the tape, and then that's it for that. And we'll let that start getting set up. We're going to put some in that flare so it'll glue it to the glass. And then the screwdriver will keep it centered there, because that's almost just precise. I had to drill that and grind it with a Dremel stone diamond bit to get that to fit. So here we go. Stay tuned for more. Okay, we are done. We tried to have the screwdriver, this chrome part, stick out about as much as the brass is. It's like 1 1/8, 1 1/8. And that's almost 1 1/8, so that's like all three almost equal. So let's put the ruler down here. And it comes out to 3 inches, about 3 3/8. Don't ask me how I did it. The total ruler is, right on the ruler, about 4 1/2 inches. I like because it fits in my hand. You can get a hold right there and twist on a screw. But there you go. I tried to get some really nice pictures of it. I've got an epoxy there, and of course on the inside, and I didn't put anything in there. That's centered. So thanks for watching. This might have been a long video, but it took a lot to build that part. So we're out of here. We're gone.